All right. So this is going to be our lecture number 37, and in this particular video, I would be discussing number system because we are in the number system series. So in this like we have already covered the number system introduction in my previous video. So that is the prerequisite for completing this video, because if you have missed the last video, that was the introduction about the number system, then this video is not going to beneficial for you if you don't know number system. If you know about number system, how to means what are the bases and what are the digits in any number system, then you are fine, you are okay with starting with this video, fine. So in this particular video, uh, what we would do, we will be converting a decimal number into binary number, fine. So let me take you to the board. Fine. So this is the explanation which I have done earlier in my last video about the number system only. So you can see from here decimal, binary and octal. So we have covered these three number system for now, but there are more number system, but we will be focusing on these only for now, because these are the only one which are being asked in the programming questions or in the interviews. Fine. So I'm going to erase this, and great, fine. So what we are going to see today, decimal to binary conversion, fine. So let us say you have to convert a decimal number into binary on the copy and pen. So this is the pen, and you can consider the screen as a copy. So how do we convert it? So we used to, let's say I have to convert the I would say 10. So the base for decimal number is 10, and I have to convert this number into binary. So binary base is 2. I have already discussed this in my last video. So if you have missed this one, then you should watch my previous video. Fine. So how do we do that? The base which we have to convert. So let's say I have to convert in 2 base. So we will take remainder, or we will divide this number, the number which we are going to convert, till the number is not become 0, with the base only. So let's see if it is confusing to you. So let's see what I'm going to write. So I have to divide this number with 2 till this number is not become 0. So if I divide 10 with 2, then I would get 5 as the quotient and 0 as the remainder. Why? Because if you divide, if you take remainder of 10 with 2, then you are going to get 0. Fine. So that means that's it. That just I explained. And again, this number is 5 now. And if you take a remainder of 5 with 2, then you are going to get 2 as the quotient and 1 as the remainder. Fine. So this is the simple math. I'm not explaining any rocket science. This is, this has been taught to you in, I think, in plus 2 or in your graduation also. So nothing much here. I will divide this number again with 2. So we would get 1 as a quotient and 0 as the remainder. Yes. And if I divide it again, because we have to divide this number till this number is not become 0. So we have 1. So now I will divide this number again. So we will divide with 2. This time we would get 0 as the quotient and 1 as the remainder. Fine. So the remainder part, if you look at here, we have got this. Fine. So this is the binary representation of 10. So while going forward with bottom to top, this would give you the binary representation, which is 1 0 1 0. So if you are if you are confused with this, then we can write this way also, like 0 1 0 1. So this is not the binary representation of 10. Instead of this, you have to consider from bottom to top, then only you are going to get the binary number. Fine. So if it is confusing to you, let me explain it once more. Okay. Fine. So let's say this time for 20, we have to convert 20 into binary in base 2. Fine. So how do we do that? In the base which we have to go, let's say we are in the decimal and we want to go into the binary. So what is the base for binary? 2. So we will divide this number with 2 only. So let's say in our next program, let's say we have to go from decimal to octal. Let's say 8, because the base for octal is 8. So in that case, we would divide 20 with 8, as simple as that. So in this way, like we are going to divide this number with 2, because we want to go in the binary. So if I divide 20 with 2, then I would get 10 as a quotient and 0 as the remainder. Again, number is 2, I would divide again, so we would get 5 as the quotient and 0 is the remainder. Again I will divide, so this time we would get 2 as the quotient and 1 is the remainder. Fine. Again we would divide this, so with 2 we will get 1 as the quotient and 0 as the remainder. And again we divide with this number, which is 1, with 2, we would get 0 as the quotient and 1 is the remainder. So what is the binary representation of this? Bottom to top, considering each remainder, which is 1, 0, 1, 0, 0. So this is the representation of 20 into the binary form. As simple as that. So nothing much, you already know this one. How do we calculate or how do we determine a binary number from the decimal? So this is the simple math which you used to do in your college life, even in the school life also. So this is very simple. Yeah, it's very simple from my perspective. Even it should be from your perspective also, because you have already seen this in your school. Like there might be a possibility that you have forgotten. That's why I have explained this here. So let's say we would apply the same trick while writing the programs. That's why I have explained you, while writing the program to convert any decimal number into binary, then we will apply this logic only, not any rocket science. We will apply this logic. Fine. So let's think about how we can apply this logic. So here what I am doing, I am dividing this number with 2, or in the base which we want to go, and taking the remainder, and the last remainder would be the first digit of the binary system and the binary representation, and the second last would be the second last, third last would be the third last, fourth last would be the fourth last, and first digit would be the last digit in the binary system. Fine. So let's code till here. We would we would see the logic for getting this remainders into reverse form, because we have to take all the remainders in the reverse. So I am going to write the code for converting the decimal number into binary. And with this series we are going to introduce the functions also. So if anybody is less experienced with function, then you should be able to learn the function from now onwards. So let me define a function. How do we define the function? We used to define public in Java only, public static. So this is the you can consider these as the by default or a default statement. Whenever you want to declare the function, you have to write these two statements. I will come up with these two statements later, but for now just understand this thing. While declaring the function, you have to write these two statements. And now you have to write the return type of the function. What would be the return type? Let's say I am writing the int. So this function is going to return the integer value, and I would name it as decimal to binary. That means this number will take an input of decimal type, which is n, and it would return the binary representation of that same decimal number. Fine. So for now, let's say I am returning 0 from here, so that there should not be any error. And what I will do, I will simply call this method from here, decimal to binary, and pass the input, which is n, and will receive the input into another variable. Let's call it as binary, and we'll simply print the binary number which we have received from the function. As simple as that. So nothing more. Now we are done with this main function. Actually, if you are seeing this, I missed this point. This is also a function. You are seeing this na, main is also a function. So as same as the main, decimal to binary is also a function. So we are calling this function from the main function. So we can, in Java we are allowed to do so. So we will use the same thing. Fine. So now what we have to do, we just have to complete the body of this. decimal to binary function. So now what we have to do, we are receiving the n and we have to convert this n into binary. So what I told you, we will take the remainder of n with 2. Why 2? Because 2 is the base in which we have to go. So we will take the remainder of 2 and each remainder we would write in the reverse way, so that we should be able to get the binary representation of our decimal number. So what I will do, watch from here very carefully, because this is your first program while converting any number in of the binary system or in the number system. So don't confused with this. If till the number is 0, and you should be aware about the while loop. I'm assuming you already know about the while loops. Fine. So till number is not 0 or number is greater than 0, then what we have to do, we have to take the remainder of n by 2. Fine. And after taking the remainder, we'll see what we will do of the remainder. If you see here, in the first iteration we divided 20 with 2, and by dividing with 2 we get 0 the remainder, and in the next iteration we divided 10, not 20. So we have to decrease this 20 into 10 also. So how do we decrease this? We will divide it with 2, because we will divide with 2 to 20, then we would get 10. We'll divide it with 2 again, so we would get 5, and we'll apply the same iteration for each iteration, same logic. Fine. So after taking remainder, what we have to do, we have to divide the n by 2 also, and also we will assign the the result of division into n only, so that because we are taking the remainder of n each time, that's why we are assigning the value or the result into n. Now what we are getting, let's see. So let's say I'm going to print the remainder for now, so that you should be able to get that what we are going to get. Let's say I'm printing remainder and not breaking any line. So let's see till here what we are going to get. So let me increase the size for this. So what here we are doing is, let me explain a little bit also. Fine, this is fine now. So what I am doing is, we are taking an input from the user and we are passing that input to the to this function. So here we are receiving and we are converting this number into binary. Not actually converting here, we are just printing the remainder for now. We will see the how do we convert that number, and from here we are returning 0 from here. So in this number you are going to get the 0, and this will print the 0 here. But before printing this 0, in the function only we are printing the remainders also. Fine. So we are going to get the remainders. So let's say I'm entering 5, not 5, I would enter let's say 10. Fine. So as you can see here, we have got, include this one, last 0, because last 0 is printing from here. We have got 0 1 0 1. So this program is returning us or printing 0 1 0 1, which is the I would say binary representation of 10, but this is not exactly 0 1 0 1, but it is like 1 0 1 0. It is printing in the reverse order. Why it is printing in the reverse order? Let's see. We are having 10 here, so 10 is greater than 0. We would come here. We will take the remainder of 10 by 2. So remainder of 10 by 2, it would give us 0. So it is printing remainder, first remainder, second remainder, third remainder, and fourth remainder. But it is printing in this way. But we do not have to print this way. We have to print in this order. First, first this, the last one, then second last, then third last, and the fourth last. So we have to print this way. Fine. So for to doing this thing, what we will do, let me explain here. Fine. So let's say you have to convert this 10 into binary. So you would take remainder of 2 each time, 1, 2 and 1. So you would write from bottom to top, which is 1 0 1 0. So how we would get 1 0 1 0 with this number? What we will do, we will multiply this 0 into 10 to the power 0. Again we would multiply this 1 into 10 to the power 1. We would multiply this with 0 into 10 to the power 2, and we would multiply this with 1 into 10 to the power 3. We are increasing the powers by 1. You can see we are increasing the power by 1, and after multiplying this we would add all of them. So what we would get, let's see here. So 0 into 10 to the power is going to be 0 only. 1 into 10 to the power 1 is going to 10. So this is going to be 0 and this is going to be 1000. So while we would add all of them, then 1 0 0 1 0. So 0 1 0 1. We would get the exact same result as this. So we will apply this technique. What we will do, let's say in each iteration, in the first iteration, we will multiply this number with 10 to the power 0. We will calculate the power also. How do we calculate the power? We have a math.pow function, and inside this we have to pass the number for which we have to calculate the power and the power, how much we have to calculate the power. So we can use this way also, or what we can do, we can take a variable, let's say power, and assign with 1. So let's say in this iteration 0 is multiplied with power, which is 1, so it is going to give you 0. But this time, and after multiplying this, what we will do, we will multiply 1 with 10 in each time. So multiplying 1 into 10, that means 10 to the power 0 has become 10 to the power 1. Fine. So 10 to the power is 0. 10 to the power 0 is 1, and 10 to the power is 1 is 10. So multiplying 10 into 1 becomes 10 only. And let's say we have to make 10 into 100, that means we have to convert 10 to the power 1 into 10 to the power 2. So what we have to do, you just have to multiply with 10 again, so that it can, let's say base is similar. So what it will do, and this is 1, so power would be added, 1 plus 1, so 10 to the power 2. So we will apply the same logic. We will take a variable power, and in each time we would multiply power into 10, so that we should get the result in this way. So if it is confusing to you, let me explain here also. So I am going to take a variable. So first of all, I will take the one variable as a result, which is a 0 initially, and a power variable which is 1 initially. So what I would do, let's say I am going to assign the result into result variable and remainder into power. Fine. And in each time we have to, if you see here, after multiplying all these numbers, we have to add all of them now. So while calculating this result, we will, let's say initially, let me explain here is, so that you should not be able to confuse, because I'm explaining all these logic in this first video only, because in each video we are going to apply the same logic. So in those videos I will not be explaining all the logics again and again. So that means if we will multiply this 0 into 10, let's say initially the result was 0, so 0 into 10 to the power 0 is going to 0, so we will add 0 into this, and this time 1 into 10 to the power 1 because becomes 10, so this time we will add 10 in this also. In each time while we are multiplying the result, we would add into the result only. So the same we are doing here. So we would add into result and then assign into result. Fine. So I think we are done. We are left with one step only, and which is we have to multiply power each time with 10. Fine. So this is how, and we are assigning the result into power only. So we have a shortcut way to do this also. We can write multiply symbol here, and we can remove this also. So what it will do, it will multiply the power with 10 and assign into the power only. Fine. So this is how it works. And also we can do the same for this also. If we have to add into the result only, then we would remove the result from here and we have to apply the plus sign here. So we are done with the program. In the last, we just have to return the result, so that in the main function we should be able to print the result also. Fine. So let me remove this. So now I'm going to run this, and I hope now we are going to expect the correct output from this function. We are going to get the result of any decimal number into binary number. So again I would enter 10. So as you can see, we are getting 1010. Let me execute it again, and this time I would write 20. So as you can see, we are getting 10100, which is the binary representation of 20. So if you are worrying about whether this result is fine or not, so we are getting the result for 20, which is 10100. So let me prove it also. So let me prove it also for 20. The binary representation of 20, we got 10100. So how do we calculate the decimal number from the binary? Let's see here. We'll discuss this approach in the next video also. So we used to do this way: 0 into 2 to the power 0, 0 into 2 to the power 1, 1 into 2 to the power 2, 0 into 2 to the power 3, and 1 into 2 to the power 4. So 16 into 4 is 4 into 16, which is 64. It is not 4 here. This is 1. So 2 to the power 4 is going to give us 16. That's why I was confused, because we are proving for 20 and we are getting 64 in the initial level. So that is wrong now. So this is going to give us 0 plus 0. This is going to give us 4. This is going to give us 0, and this is going to give us 0. So 16 plus 4 is 20. That means we are getting the correct result. That means our program is also correct. So this was I would say a very long explanation, but I hope you are able to get all the information which I have just discussed here. I have discussed this approach in a very long way, just because this is the first introduction video. If you are tired with this, then I'm really sorry. I just wanted to explain the whole concept in a easier way possible. So I hope you got the concept now, those who don't know about the number system. So that was all for converting the decimal into binary. So in the next video we are going to see, I would say, converting the decimal number into any base. So we will see the first logic, how do we going to write the program, and then we will write the program in actual. So don't miss that video, because that is the very important one and very important question, converting decimal to any base. So stay with me, and I hope you like the video. If you like the video, then hit the like button also, and if you are new to this channel, then I would request you, please do subscribe to the channel also, because I'm going to upload more videos on the topic of DSA, and of course I'm going to cover the whole series as the number series also, and after that we will solve the problems or I would say 2D arrays, strings, array list, and even dynamic programming also, greedy approaches, and all the approaches I am going to discuss in this particular series only. We are going to be complete all the DSA related problems, so that you should not be facing any issue while giving the interviews for the product based companies. Fine. So that's all about this video, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you.